Hi guys, welcome back to HJ Today and thank you for watching. Today's video will be about considerations when choosing where to study in China. I received a message from a viewer basically asking if it really matters where you study Chinese in China. Like, do you actually have to study in Beijing or Shanghai? These kinds of questions. For me personally, I think it's ultimately down to you. However, I do have some tips or factors to consider when choosing where to study that may make your experience more enjoyable. The first thing to consider is the location, as if you're planning on working later or even getting an internship or traveling while you're there, the location will be important. In bigger cities, they'll have the more multinational companies where it might be just the kinds of companies you're wanting to get experience working in or actually working in. However, in the smaller cities, it might be harder for you to find the types of work you want to do. I'm not saying it's impossible though. Also, in terms of the location, if you're wanting to travel, you'll be wanting to be based near somewhere which is close to public transport, as it adds on a lot of extra time when traveling if you're not near a big transport hub. Another thing to consider is the cost, as first-tier cities such as Beijing or Shanghai are more expensive to live in than other cities. These more expensive cities will typically be more developed and they may have better facilities, be cleaner, these kinds of things, may be more suited to Western standards. Another important factor for me was the climate. In the north of Beijing, it'll typically have harsher winters, be more dry, and a harsher climate, I guess. But in the south, it'll be warmer and more humid. However, it's also important to note that in the north, they will have central heating turned on by the government, and in the south, they won't. So in the north, even though the outside temperatures are a lot cooler, inside it'll be much warmer. However, in the south, it's just cool inside and outside. In terms of the climate, in Taipei and Nanjing, I found that it rained a lot, like almost every day in Taipei, and then in rainy season in Nanjing, like every day, all day. Kind of related to the climate is the air quality. If you're sensitive, this is definitely something you should consider. So just try and search online to see like the average air quality for the cities and try and choose one from there, I guess. I found it got pretty depressing when the skies were always just a shade of grey. You learn to appreciate nice weather a lot more when you live in China. Something that people will often also consider when studying Chinese is the regional accent or dialect of the city. So I think basically if you don't study in Beijing, it'll be a non-standard accent wherever you are. However, it's not the end of the world. I think that the stress we place on the accent and dialect isn't really needed at this stage. I think basically wherever you are, your teachers will be speaking standard Mandarin, so I think it's not a huge issue personally. And even on the streets, people will probably just see you and assume you're a foreigner and then speak to you in Mandarin anyway. So I think it's not a huge issue. A big factor for me is the campus itself, as this will probably make or break your experience because you spend most of your time there.
Just quickly, when I was editing, I realized that I didn't mention the quality of the actual study program or the teachers. So that's definitely something to consider, as at the higher ranked universities, they may have better teachers there. Just something to consider.
So try and find a campus which is really foreigner friendly, has lots of activities, clubs, societies, these kinds of things. In terms of the campus again, I think a lot of foreigners worry about being trapped in the foreigner bubble. When you think about it, you think of like Beijing, Shanghai, these cities are a lot more developed, so they have a lot more foreigners, a lot more foreign goods, restaurants, these kinds of things. However, I think for me personally, no matter where you study, if you're taking Chinese classes, basically all your classmates will be foreign. So I think it really just comes down to you as to how much effort you spend outside of the class trying to get to know the locals. Again, with the campus, I think when you're looking it up, just because it says it's in Beijing or wherever it is, have a look at the actual location of it within the city, as these cities are huge. So you could be technically in Beijing, but like some random little location. So just make sure you know where you are before you sign up. So then you know how far it takes to get to certain points of the city university to major transport, these kinds of things, just so you're aware, and also entertainment places, just so you're aware of how long it takes, so it's not a huge surprise. As I know some of the universities were really in very random locations. I think the last consideration for now is for if you have any dietary requirements. For example, if you're Muslim and also vegetarian, I guess, it's quite hard to find halal food in China as you never really know what you're eating. So in the bigger cities, yes, there will be more options as they cater to like a larger audience. But if you have special requirements and you're worried about finding food, I would probably try to find an area in China which suits your needs better. Like for example, if you're Muslim, I would probably look maybe at like Xi'an or Xinjiang, these kinds of places. Maybe potentially just look for yourself and just see, as they have larger Muslim population. I guess everything on this list will be valued to you differently. So just choose a location or what's most important to you. Maybe you can't have everything, but at least you have the choice and you can know some things which you consider, I guess. So thank you for watching. If you have any more comments or questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to answer as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.